Welcome to this tutorial on stateful set storage and volume claim templates. In this video, we'll explore how to master persistent storage configuration for stateful sets in Kubernetes. Stateful sets are designed for applications that need stable, persistent storage, and volume claim templates are the key to achieving this. Let's dive in and understand how these components work together to provide reliable storage for stateful applications. Volume claim templates are templates that automatically create persistent volume claims for each pod in a stateful set. Think of them as blueprints that Kubernetes uses to generate storage for your pods. The key benefit is that each pod gets its own dedicated storage that's completely isolated from other pods. This storage persists across pod restarts, meaning if a pod crashes and restarts, it will reconnect to the same storage with all its data intact. The entire process is automated. Kubernetes automatically provisions the storage when a pod is created, so you don't have to manually create storage for each pod. Let's look at the basic structure of a volume claim template. It starts with the volume claim templates field, which is an array that can contain multiple templates. Each template has metadata with a name. In this example, we're calling it data-volume. The spec section defines the storage characteristics. Access modes specify how the volume can be accessed. Read-write once means the volume can be mounted as read-write by a single node. Under resources and requests, we specify the storage size here. We're requesting 10 gigabytes of storage. This template will be used to create a persistent volume claim for each pod in the stateful set. Now let's see how a volume claim template fits into a complete stateful set definition. We start with the standard Kubernetes metadata API version apps/v1 kind stateful set and a name for our stateful set, which is web in this case. In the spec section, we define the service name as Nginx, which is the headless service this stateful set will use for network identity. We're setting replicas to 3, meaning we want 3 pods running. The selector with match labels defines how the stateful set identifies which pods belong to it. Here, we're using app:"Nginx as the label. Continuing with our stateful set configuration, the template section defines the pod specification. We start with metadata that includes labels matching our selector, app:"Nginx. The spec section contains the container configuration. We're using a container named Nginx with the image Nginx:1.21. The critical part here is the volume mount section. We're mounting a volume named www to the path/user/share/nginx/html inside the container. This is where the container will access its persistent storage. The volume name www must match the name we define in our volume claim template. Here's the volume claim templates section that completes our stateful set. Under volume claim templates, we define metadata with the name www, which matches the volume mount name we specified earlier. The spec section contains the storage configuration. Access modes is set to read-write once, meaning each volume can be mounted for reading and writing by a single node at a time. The storage class name is set to standard, which tells Kubernetes which storage class to use for provisioning. Storage classes define the type of storage backend, such as SSD or HDD. Finally, under resources requests, we specify storage :1 gigabyte, which is the amount of storage each pod will receive. Let's explore the key configuration options available in volume claim templates. First, access modes determine how the volume can be accessed. Read-write once allows one node to mount the volume for reading and writing. Read-only many allows multiple nodes to mount the volume in read-only mode. Read-write many allows multiple nodes to mount the volume for both reading and writing. Second, storage class name specifies which storage class to use for provisioning. Storage classes define the type of storage and how it's provisioned, for example, fast SSD storage or slower HDD storage. Third, resources.requests.storage defines the amount of storage to provision for each pod. This is the size of the persistent volume that will be created for each pod replica. Understanding the storage lifecycle in stateful sets is crucial. When a pod is created, Kubernetes automatically provisions a persistent volume claim with a unique name based on the template and pod name. When a pod is deleted, either manually or during a failure, the persistent volume claim and its data persist. They are not deleted. This ensures data safety. When the pod is recreated, Kubernetes automatically reconnects it to the existing persistent volume claim, and all the data is still there. Finally, when the entire stateful set is deleted, the persistent volume claims remain in the cluster. This is by design to prevent accidental data loss. You must manually delete the persistent volume claims if you want to reclaim the storage. This lifecycle management ensures data durability and makes stateful sets ideal for databases and other stateful applications.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.